What is good, yo boys? We are back with a new video, and this time I am going to showcase to you guys my official NBA 2K26 shooting center build. And this center right here is going to be more of like a meta like center build, kind of like the 7-footers that you guys saw in 25. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised I haven't really seen a lot of these builds yet. I've seen a bunch of really cool 7'4" stretch builds, but I actually have not really seen a lot of like a meta 7-foot center, particularly one that you can really use for the rec, the pro-am, and the park as well. But lucky for you guys, I cooked up a very nice center build during community day. Your boy has gone back to his roots. I'm still going to be playing guard mainly, but I also will be alternating with a center build, an ISO build, and even a lock build throughout the year, just to freshen things up a bit. So this year you will see me on a bunch of different builds. But without further ado, man, let's get straight into it. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. I've got more build videos on the way as well, so stay tuned. So first things first, obviously in this page you want to make a center. Height is 7'1", weight at 258 pounds. Reason being, we want our strength cap to be at 95 so that we can eventually get Hall of Fame brick wall. And wingspan, this is actually an interesting one. This is new. So back in 2K25, if you were 7'1", you could actually get a maximum wingspan of 7'10". But in 2K26, the max wingspan you can get is a 7'7". And that is what we're gonna go with. A max wingspan is always essential on a good 7-footer center build. Look at our max caps for rebounding, offensive and defensive rebound, both at a 99. But we also still get a max cap of a 78.3, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is our official 7'1" shooting center build. And as you guys can see right here, very quickly off the stats, this is a very well-rounded center that is perfectly built, especially for the 5s. This thing is as close as it gets to the 7-foot center builds that we saw in 25. But very quickly, some stats that stick out. We got a pass accuracy of a 93. That gives us half break starter. Offensive rebound at a 94. Very important. So you can cap break that to a 99 and get legend rebounding badges. 74 3-point shot and an 80 mid-range. So you can unlock every jump shot animation that you need. Decent finishing as well. 81 standing dunk for a reason, because that gives us rise up badge. I think that's silver. A very high close shot. One, because it is super cheap. And close shot is one of the most underrated attributes for center builds. It is always good every single year. And you get a lot of very good badges, which we're going to talk about very soon once we go through each attribute. A 91 strength, which immediately gives you gold brick wall. And once again, at the start, I said we went with 258 pounds so that our strength max cap is at 95. Something that you could also cap break, or even max +1 or max +2 even. So from gold brick wall, you can either get that to Hall of Fame if you wish, or even legend brick wall if you want a max +2 it. Oh, and also an 85 free throw. I don't know if you guys remember what Mike Wang said, but he basically said that free throws are also going to be green or miss. So, you know, if you're going to be taking this thing to the 5s, you need to have a decent free throw as well. Okay, now let's break down every single attribute that we have. So once again, close shot 92. This gives us Hall of Fame float game, silver hook specialist, and also gold paint prodigy. And as you guys can see right there, you get Hall of Fame paint prodigy at a 96 close shot, something you can also cap break or max +1. But that is specifically at a 92, because 92 is when you get Hall of Fame float game. 81 standing dunk, which gives us silver aerial wizard, and that is actually the attribute requirement to unlock silver rise up as well. Obviously very important for a 7-footer to be able to finish in the paint, and with a high close shot and a decent enough standing dunk, you'll be able to do just that. Post control is at a 75, because that is the minimum requirement to get unpluckable at bronze. Another very important thing to have in a 7-footer, so you don't just lose the ball right away. And you also get a bunch of these other badges to help you with post scoring. And now for shooting, we have an 80 mid-range shot, as you guys can see there in the bottom right. That is the requirement as well for silver post fade phenom. And on top of that, we also get deadeye on bronze, and then silver set shot specialist. But once again, that 80 mid-range shot is also there so that you can unlock majority of the best 7-foot jump shot animations. And then with that, you have the 74.3. You don't get any limitless, but remember, this is where the max +1s and the max +2s start to come in. If I choose to do shooting build specialization, I could easily get that 3-point to a silver limitless. And if somehow 74.3 isn't enough, I can bump that up all the way to a 78. 78 is the max 3-point shot that we can get with a 7'7" wingspan. Next up though, we have one of the most important aspects of the 7-foot shooting center build. We have a pass accuracy of a 93. This is the requirement for you to get Hall of Fame break starter, a very important badge, especially when it comes to the 5s, the 3s even. As soon as you get the rebound, you want to be able to send the ball. So Hall of Fame break starter, and then as you guys can see right there on the left as well, bailout at silver. Not that you're going to be bailing out a lot anyway on a shooting center, but you only need +1 to get that to a 94, and to get that to a gold bailout, you also have versatile visionary, which once again, you need +2 to get that to a Hall of Fame. You know, if you really want the 7-footer to be like Jokic. And then we got Hoffdimer as well. I know some of you guys will argue that you can probably lower this down to like, say, like an 87. 87 is the requirement to get to gold break starter, I believe, which is still very, very effective. And then if you do that, you might be able to up your defense a little bit, your finishing a little bit. But honestly, I think our defense and our finishing is good enough as it is. I would much rather keep this in pass accuracy, especially because I'm going to be mainly using this build for the 5s anyway. And on top of that, having that 93 pass accuracy also gives us the freedom for when we do get cap breakers to unlock all these other badges that you guys can see that we are basically about to get anyway. Ball handle and speed with ball, you don't really need to touch. Those are both just minimum requirements, obviously not needed for this build. And now for defense, these are actually the final stats that I ended up going with. 81 interior, 62 per rim, 60 steal, and a 78 block. 60 steal will allow you to get bronze unblockable. Obviously on the 5s, you're just going to be guarding the corner, so at least you can still play the lane a little bit. 81 interior and 78 block, decent enough to protect the paint. And then 62 perim defense, because you are rarely going to be guarding the perimeter anyways on this build. Okay, so now with our rebounding, one of the other more essential parts of this build, you need at least a 94 offensive or a 94 defensive, vice versa, because you want to be able to cap break it +5 to get that to a 99, because that will allow you to get both box out beast and rebound chaser at legend. As you guys can see right there, without the cap breakers, we get Hall of Fame box out beast and gold rebound chaser, but that rebound chaser will go to Hall of Fame once we get that offensive rebound to a 96, and then we'll be able to get that to legend, same as box out beast, as soon as we get that to a 99. So make sure when you are making your shooting center build that you account for this. This honestly, in my opinion, is what separates a lot of the great 7-foot center builds out there. All of the very best 7-foot builds out there will have both these badges at legend when cap raked. And the best thing about my build is it also has a maximum wingspan on top of those 2 legend rebounding badges. So all there's left to do is for you to really just time your rebounds, and you should be able to snag everything. And now for our physicals, once again, we have a 91 strength that grants you gold brick wall. Once again, this is something you can cap break or max +1, max +2, up to you. +4, we'll get that to a 95 strength, which is actually the max for this build that we have. And we'll get Hall of Fame brick wall. We also get silver post powerhouse, bronze post lockdown, and if you guys can see right here, immovable enforcer. Basically, I've showed you guys all the stats. It is very, very flexible in a sense that depending on what cap breakers you want to use, or max +1s, max +2s, what you want to do with this build in the future is completely up to you. But in all honesty, no matter what it is that you do, this build is guaranteed to be great in the long term. And finally, we have our last physical, which is a 77 vertical, already maxed out. That is when you get gold pogo stick, and we also get silver high flying denier and silver rise up, like I mentioned earlier. So these right here are the final stats that I went with to make my 7'1" shooting center build at 258 pounds, wingspan maxed out as well, 7'7". This build is honestly going to be amazing, but you know, if you want to change things, feel free to use this as a base. I will show you guys one alternative though, which is this one right here. So our 3-point has gone up from a 74 to a 78 if you want a slightly higher 3-point. We also had to lower our perimeter defense, and our free throw went from 85 to a 76, which honestly isn't too bad of a sacrifice just to get that extra +4 and 3-point. I mean, the only thing is a 74 to a 78 3 doesn't really grant you any new badges. It is purely just for attributes if you want a slightly higher 3-point. Me personally, I think a 74 and 78 are too close anyway. I'd rather just stick with the 74 because I'll still be able to max +1 or max +2 for limitless anyway. So this one right here is the final stats that I would still prefer. 3-point at a 74, but we get an 85 free throw. I still think this is going to be essential because, like I said, this will be mainly used for the 5s as well. And then we also get that extra perim defense. But that is essentially the build completed. These right here are just some of the takeovers that you get. Barbecue chicken with the ability paint surgeon. You got board beast, break igniter. What else do we have? Fundamentals, paint surgeon, once again, the general. So, you know, you still get a bunch of takeovers to choose from as well. Splash tower, that one sounds pretty cool. And we got unit and we got Xanos. Anyway, once again, these are our final attributes, as you guys can see. And now we are going to continue so that we can see our build name. We have built Shades of Jack Sigma, Nikola Jokic, Bill Laimbeer, and we have built a physical glass visionary. Pretty tough name. And as you guys can see right there on the right side, we have a whole bunch of strengths. Major asset on offensive rebounds, legitimate passing big man, consistent tough around the rim, hard to move inside, and weaknesses, slow lateral reactions in space. I mean, all you're going to be guarding realistically on this build is the corner, unless you do end up taking this to the park, which I still feel like will still work. But anyway, there you guys have it. That is our 7-foot shooting center, well, 7'1" shooting center build completed. This will definitely be one of the more like meta center builds that we see in the 5s. But once again, you can still definitely take this to the park. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. We have other build videos on the way. And yeah, appreciate you guys for coming through. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.